Okay, so now what we can do is actually look at how we customize and set up a unique image target. Okay, so rather than using the astronaut here, I'm going to swap this image target over with my own customized image. We need to do that first of all through the Vuforia website. So navigate back into your browser, okay, and log in to your developer account. So Vuforia developer portal. I'm just going to log in here with my own account. Okay, so logging back into the developer portal, we worked with the license manager last week. This week we're going to look at the target manager. So click into target manager. Okay, now this is where all the databases and images that are image targets get stored. So the first thing we need to do is create a database, like a folder that will store our 3 different target images for each animation. So click Add Database, and we're going to give it a name. Okay, so I'm going to call this iPad AR app underscore images. And just make sure it's ticked as the device type. Click Create. All right, and there we have our database. You can see that there's 0 targets in there. Click into iPad AR app images. And this is where we can now add our targets, which are our image targets. All right, so choose Add Target. And this is where I get to set up all the information about the specific image target we're creating. So you're going to have to do this 3 times for each image target. So number 1, this is just a single image. You can actually work with other objects in Vuforia, cube, cylinder, 3D objects, and so on. We're just working with a single image. I'm going to select my image now. So clicking that, I'm going to find it. And mine is this boards JPEG image here. And note it's only 805 kilobytes in size. So the smaller the file size, the better. There is a maximum of 2 megabytes for your image here. So just take note of how large your images are. Now the last thing we need to do here before we put in the name is the width. So the width of your target in scene units. Okay, so that means the size the target should be compared to the 3D virtual augmented space. So Vuforia uses meters as the unit. So the target's height sort of will match the width, obviously, of your image, but you need to consider how wide it is in sort of the 3D augmented reality real space. So mine, for example, is printed out on an A4 page, and I would say that that is about 1/4 of a meter or 1/3 of a meter. So I'm just going to go with 0.25, for example. Okay, so 0.25 is a good safe number. You'll need to consider this when you put in your own image, and then give it a name. So I'm going to call this image target 1, and if you want you can give it another name you'll recognize, so boards, for example, which are my birds, and click Add. That will upload your image target like so, and there we have it, our image target created like so. Now it'll have a list like this. Okay, it'll be a single image. You can see something there called a rating, a status, and a date modified. Now I'm just going to refresh my page here. Okay, and here we have now it completed. So if it doesn't show or change the view there, just refresh your page. You can see if you click into it, all right, this is our image, and it's really, really important to pay attention to this star rating. Okay, so this is 5 stars, which means it's a really good augmentable image, or it's really good to track. All right, this is a really important thing. You want to make sure that your target has 5 stars. 4 stars is the absolute minimum that you'll be looking for. And obviously, if there's not enough detail that the image can work with, you'll need to re-upload and change your image target to match that. Now, to see what it's actually looking at and tracking to, you can actually click on this button here that shows your features. And that shows in the image in black and white or grayscale. And all those yellow crosses or points are elements that it's been able to tick onto whenever it's tracking. Okay, so a nice sort of a black outline can really help there. Having a lot of blocky color may find to be a little bit tricky. So you'll need to consider your image target and how that shows. Okay, so just going back to the images. Okay, this is again my iPad AR images target library. I've got one image target here. You'll need to repeat this process for the 2 others as well. So again, adding the target, putting the file in, how big it is, the name, and click Add until you have 3 targets listed. But once you've got all 3 added, you can work with the database as it is. Okay, so you click on Download Database. And when you do that, you want to make sure that you tick Unity Editor. Okay, then click Download. What this is going to do is compile a folder ready for you to download to import into Unity. Okay, something known as a Unity package, which again is exactly the same kind of content we worked with when we were importing our Unity, the Unity asset store examples in our weekly class exercises. Okay, so now I can go to Assets, Import Package, Custom Package, and just navigate to where it downloaded, so iPad AR App Unity Package, like so, and click Open, and click Import. Okay, so that's imported it into our file ready to use. Now what we need to do is click into our AR camera and go to the Open Vuforia configuration. You'll see that there is now, under Databases, an option for Load iPad AR App Images Database. Okay, that's really important that that's ticked, and you want to tick Activate as well. Okay, if you're not using the other image databases, you can untick those. Okay, so making sure that Load iPad AR App Images Database Activate is ticked like so. And just click out of that. File, save your project. File, save your scene. So now the last thing we have to do is actually swap over my image target. Okay, so my image target is currently the default Vuforia Astronaut one. What I can actually do is, with it selected, go across over to where the database is listed, which is Vuforia Images. And you can see there we now have iPad AR App Images listed like so. Okay, when you click on that, it will change to the first one on the list. If you have 3, you'll be able to choose them from image target here like so. Okay, and here it is. You can zoom into it and see exactly how it looks. It's just a matter of changing that over. If you want to reposition something, you can do so. Again, adjusting your image and so on as necessary. So with that change, just again, File, Save Project, File, Save Scene. And that's it. Now you should be able to press play, and with a printout of your new target, your custom target, you should be able to hold this up to the camera. There we are. Okay, and because it's obviously tracked to our library, we can use this within our Vuforia iPad settings. Okay, so now you'll just have to repeat this process of a new image target and a new animation for each one. Okay, until you have 3 different image targets and 3 uploaded files within the Vuforia website.